Yes, we can provide you the recording after the workshop for sure. Also, Terry, can you please answer the questions in the chat if there's something that comes up, because since I'll be presenting, so I won't be able to see those chats.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so hi everyone. I hope you're having a great Saturday, great start to your Saturday. My name is Ajay. I'm a marketing and business development executive at Skillspire, and I enjoy creative things. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy meeting new friends. So, and a little fun fact about me is that I play cricket really well, and even with the fitness that I've got right now, I'm able to bowl about 80 miles an hour. So that's a fun fact about me. Terry, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yes, please. My name is Terry Polly, and I work in SkillsFire to try to help students launch a career in tech. This is after you finish your course, trying to build partnerships with different organizations and companies, as well as trying to, help you get your resume together, things like that. I come with 7 years of experience at Amazon. I worked in business security applications as a business analyst, as a project manager. I also worked in financial analyst as a consultant. So I have a lot of experience in a lot of different fields, a lot of different areas. So I really enjoy working with students, trying to help them move forward in their career.
If like a mini icebreaker of sorts, and I just want that, while we are in this workshop, to make sure that it's not just informative, but all of you learn something new, and if you could get acquainted with each other of sorts. So one by one, can you please introduce yourself, tell us about your aspirations, your interests, what brought you to this workshop, and also maybe one fun fact about yourself.
I can go first.
Sure.
My name's Miguel Fierro. I'm currently uh, learning how to become a program developer. Probably going down like a Python course, and I don't have any background in tech, but it's something that's always interested me and looking forward to, and definitely want to get into. I actually found this through Meetup, and I found it very interesting. So that's why I'm here. I wanted to join, see what everything's about. Uh, Interesting fact about me: I taught myself how to play the guitar and the bass in a matter of like a year. So I play that like on the weekends whenever I have free time.
That's so cool. So
Hi.
who wanna go?
Hi, good morning. My name is Robert, and just like Miguel, I found out about this through Meetup. And I'm also interested in tech for a few reasons. The first reason I think is just it would be a really beneficial skill to have. I don't have a tech background at all. I'm actually work in the medical field, specifically in health insurance. But as much fun health insurance is, I kind of wanted to do something a little more creative and perhaps really broaden my horizon. So the tech industry check off those boxes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. My name is Denise, and I'm interested in tech because I want to try something new. I've been working for a small business for a retail shop for about 23 years come December, and I think I'm ready for a change. I just was curious. I've done YouTube videos on tech. I find it fun, challenging. Fun fact about me is, as old as I am, I'm a gamer. I love playing video games, and it shocks a lot of people because I'm not that. You wouldn't find me typical as a gamer.
What games do you like playing?
Right now, I'm playing Final Fantasy 15, and I
Okay.
spent countless hours playing it.
I'm a mobile gamer myself, so I play PUBG a lot. I play Call of Duty, so I relate to that a lot. That's awesome. Who's next?
Hi. My name's Roma. I live in Whistler, and I'm kind of deciding between a few different areas right now. So I'm just looking forward to hearing a little bit about all. And I think Terry actually was part of a couple of them that I'd like to hear more of. So I'm kind of deciding between cybersecurity, um, um, a business analyst, or getting a PMP. So yeah, I would like to figure all that out soon.
Hi, my name is Lani, and I saw this advertised, I think on Instagram or something like that. So I was just curious about it. I think like I've had a lot of different types of jobs, and I'm working in human services right now. But I was always strong in math and kind of quite analytical, like problem solving. um, I feel like the whole tech world is kind of overwhelming with all the different types of categories you could possibly, be into. And I think I could probably be good at something, but I'm just like, what area could it be? And I just really want a chance to do a job where I'm actually able to excel and like be challenged, and like my, my thoughts and values, or my ideas are like, oh, that's a great idea, let's implement it, and like have like something, yeah, that's, I'm improving something and being a part of something that's just, yeah, something. So yeah, I'm curious just what you guys are going to talk about. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rana. I'm a stay at home mom of 3 kids, and I have a bachelor's in electronics and communication background, but I've never worked. So I graduated in 2012, and because of my kids, I didn't get an opportunity. And finally, I'm thinking to start my career. So I just came across Skillspire and found it very interesting, and planning to join a boot camp. So, but I am confused, like where should I start, like software engineering or data analytics, because I like basically taught myself SQL, but I do not want to do like core programming. I just want to do like a job where there is some programming, but not like hardcore programming. So I just have that. And apart from that, I love to play with my kids. I have a 3-month-old baby, and yeah, and that's it about me. Thank you.
Lovely.
Hey, I can go next probably. Hi, I'm Sijan. I am a nurse. I've been working as a nurse like since like last 5 years. And I'm in the army as well. So I'm active duty. So as I'm transitioning out, I was looking at different options I have available, like when I get out. So I came across this event through Skillspire, and I mean, I love nursing and everything, but because of my certain health issues, I don't think I can do nursing for very long, you know. So I wanted like to change. I wanted to change my profession, so that's why I am thinking about breaking into the tech, I guess. Yeah, I do have associates in electronic engineering, but I changed my goal, so I did nursing. But I think it's time to get back to what I started, so I am looking forward to it. And a fun fact about me, I mean, I don't call myself like an adrenaline junkie, but I do like adventure stuff. I have done hiking. I mean, skydiving, bungee jumping, all that. So that's the one fun fact. So that's it. Thank you.
I always wanted to do skydiving, by the way. It's on my bucket list too. So, have we covered everyone? Is anyone left?
I think we've covered anyone, and if people don't want to say, that's fine too. We can just move forward with a video here. Do you want to start, Jay?
Yes, I'll start. Okay, so a lot of us here are from different backgrounds, have different stories, and we have come together because all of us we want to break into the tech industry. And uh, for different people, it may be out of confusion, it may be out of a desire, it may be about getting back into your own old roots and trying to explore things, or even it could be something completely new that you have never touched. But the fact is that tech industry is one of the biggest industries in the world right now that employs a lot of people. So if you have to break into tech, give me 1 second, okay? Give me 1 second. I'll just keep talking, but yeah. In the meantime, can you guys want to say something, your expectations from this workshop, and what do you think would be the desired outcome from this? Does anyone want to have a go at it?
So the one thing that go ahead.
Oh, Lonnie here. Yeah, I was just curious because when I check out the website, I see a lot of coding, and so I haven't looked at it thoroughly. But is there other realms, that you guys are involved with, or is it, pretty specific? And also, if you guys have any advice about if you're so completely new to it, how do you can you do tests or assessments to there's assessments for general career, oh, you would be good at maybe doing service industry. But I'm just curious, in the IT world, if there's something that, assessment that we could take that might help us narrow things down a little.
So we have people who kind of talk with you and learn about your background. It's more a one-on-one type assessment. There are assessments out there. We feel that sometimes they're excellent to have and they're excellent to do just to kind of get to know yourself and your skills. But sometimes, our folks can kind of help you, and you're always welcome to talk to any of us to try to better assess where you think you should go. And because we understand the job market and kind of what's out there, as well as kind of personality, how you may fit. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the slide. I will talk a little bit about kind of how you can kind of think about tech and where you fit in that space.
Also, I just wanted to say one thing, that we do a lot of other workshops as well. Sometimes it's course specific, sometimes it is related to a broad tech industry related conversations, and we also do discounts, we do offers and a lot of things. So please ensure that you put your email in the chat, so that we can reach out to you with any future discounts and offers, and for any kind of one-on-one guidance, or even if you have something to talk about, we are always there to help you. So please put your email in the chat so that it stays with us, and we have an opportunity to get in touch with you for offers and discounts and so forth. So we would really appreciate that. So going back to the point, why break into tech? So I think one of us mentioned here that they want to be creative in what they want to do, and uh, tech career is typically, you may come across a lot of jargons, you may come across a lot of technical terms that are thrown around left, right, and center at you, but at the core of it, it's truly meaningful work, and you get to be creative. And when it comes to creativity, a lot of people think it's just art and music and dance and whatnot, but tech can be creative as well. You create something that is going to be used by probably billions of people. Like, who would have thought one line of code written in Facebook is being used as a lifesaver for so many people in the world out there, right? So and it's not just restricted to one particular domain. You have a lot of things, you have a lot of work. Tech can be anywhere from database, from you can talk about you can talk about writing a simple algorithm, or you could talk about writing something that could be beneficial to the healthcare industry of sorts, since we're living in the pandemic and it's the COVID time. So even you could imagine that, you with one line of code, it could impact someone's life so much that they could call an ambulance probably and save someone's life. So it's so wide and it's so much huge that y- the limit is just an imagination at this point of time, because tech is everywhere. And also it is a global industry where you have a high demand and high pay, because uh, tech is evolving right now. And if you think about it, we are at a stage where tech is still in a very nascent stage. If you think about the possibilities that it could achieve at the end of the whole chain, right? So it's high in demand. Everybody wants to get into tech. And for example, I'll just give you a simple example. uh, a lot of people had brick and mortar stores for so long, and even they are now trying to get into tech by, the most simplest of things, maybe making a website for themselves, creating an online presence so that people can come across them and use the services, or even call them up, even explore what they offer, and then make a meaningful choice. Just like how it happened today, that all of us are here. We found someone, we found this workshop through tech. Someone found it on Instagram, someone found it on Meetup. And it's just that it's so much in demand, so much everywhere, that everybody wants it. And with more demand comes more pay. And the point about the reason I'm saying is that if you want to break into music, if you want to break into dance, if you want to break into creative arts or any other field, you need to train yourself for so long. And sometimes it's just talent, sometimes it's just raw talent. You cannot Everybody cannot become a dancer. Some people are born with those skills. But when it comes to tech, anyone can learn it. All you need is the right attitude, all you need is the right aspirations, the right inspirations for doing it, and the right reasons to do it as well. And if you're committed enough, anyone can learn to code and anyone can break into tech. And the best part about all of it is a lot of tech companies, for example Google, Facebook, and these companies have been supreme advocates of work life balance. And they just want to ensure that the employees are not drained. They treat their employees like a family. And they give them adequate time to rest and have a good time. And once they come back into work the next morning, and it all boils down to the fact that it's a creative job at the end of the day, because you need a little bit of rest to come back the next morning and do the same thing again and again. And it has a tech career typically has a great work life balance. And the best of all you need is a computer system. You don't need to be in an office. And the if anything, that the pandemic has taught us that remote work is a strong possibility. And with tech, a lot of companies have moved towards remote only opportunities. And no matter where you are in the world, no matter which state of mind you're in, no matter which uh, circumstances that you're in, you can work from your home. And it allows for a flexible schedule. You can probably do your someone said that they wanted to do a laundry today, so you could possibly do your laundry while you're working. And that's such a cool thing to do, right? I mean, if you talk about 5 years ago, people would be like, oh, I need to do laundry on the weekend, or they would have schedule for those things as well. But you could just go offline, put your clothes into the laundry and come back and work. And that's something that's great. That's a flexibility that everybody would love to have. And also for the creative geniuses, for the entrepreneurs, for people who don't want to work for somebody else, there are people who exist like that. And you could possibly freelance. You could start your own company. Like, let's say you could start your own web development company. You could teach yourself how to build a website, and you could just ask people that, hey, I can build a website, do you want to get it built? I'll You can pay me for it, and so forth. And you can have a career of your own. I mean, you don't have to depend on someone for um, having a career or a company, or you could just do it yourself. And also, at the very end, college degrees are not the end at all. So tech industry has come up with this. They have been changing their mind so much that they want to get into a skill based recruitment rather than having someone who has a degree, because a degree doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, you need to have the skills to do it. And a lot of companies, Google, Facebook, IBM, I can name like tens of them, but they want right now is, if you're skilled enough, if you're good at tech, come have a career with us. And that's something that is not the case in other industries. If you want to get into marketing, if you want to get into supply chain, you need to go through a process. But tech is something that's been so liberal, so much welcoming to people who want to get into tech and are skilled enough, and you have an amazing opportunity to do something that you would not have in a conventional job in some other industry.
So what jobs can I get in tech? This is just a short list. There's quite a few jobs that you can get in technology, and some of these may not be familiar, so I'll kind of walk through a couple of them. Like front-end web developer, that's kind of what you see when you go on the website. It's when you click into things. It's what it looks like, the colors, the information that's presented and how it's presented. The back end is basically, like the data and how it works in the back end, how the information you put in the front end or what you put into a website, how is it used in the back end? Like a simple example is a login. You take a login information, then it sends it to the back end and it checks to make sure it's accurate. And then it spits out whether or not it's accurate or not. And if it is, then it lets you into the website. So that's kind of the difference between those. You kind of may know some of the other ones. Data scientist is doing a little bit more regression analysis, a little bit more of kind of the statistical analysis of data. And that's whereas the data analyst looks more at, they use SQL, they use SQL queries, they look at Excel, they look at how you can present the data in a meaningful way. How can you tell a story? Whereas data scientist kind of takes it to the next level with more predictive modeling. When you get into like cybersecurity analyst, information security analyst, there's so many different titles for getting into cybersecurity. Like at Amazon, there's always like investigation specialist. People who look at fraudulent activity on the website. And so there's a lot of titles. But I think that the thing is, it's not the titles that we're looking at. It's that IT is going to be here. It's not going anywhere. In fact, we're seeing a larger and larger gap in people who have skills versus what the job really needs. So we're seeing that there's a lot more jobs being created that people can't fill because they don't have the technical skills. And even in like marketing, you need marketing analysts to tell a story, to be able to take the data that you have about the customers, about the market, and spin it so that you can tell a story to sell whatever you're trying to sell, the service or the product that you're trying to sell. And that requires somebody who knows data. Same thing with accounting, that we've seen a huge number of people looking for accountants who have background in technologies. So there's so many different healthcare. You've got biotech companies looking for people who know coding, know analytic skills, but have a background in biologies. And so there's a lot of different disciplines that require this. I think the challenge is trying to get those skills, and that's what we're here to help you do. So the next slide is, how much money can I make? It's always a big question. It depends on a lot of things, right? Your experience, your skills, what you bring into the job. Just because you don't have technical skills doesn't mean the experience that you have doesn't matter when you leave our program. They absolutely matter. It matters where you live, but generally speaking, mid-tier tech fields usually pay about $100,000 on up. But when you first start out, it may be less. And that may be okay, because I see a lot of people who graduate and they often need to get into that entry-level job, and it may pay like $60,000, even $50,000, but then the ramp up is much bigger after that first year. So they get in, maybe even it's an apprenticeship program, something where they get their feet wet, they really build their confidence, and then they can get into a program which is where they make more money. And so it really ranges, and it also depends on your skill level. So if you come in with some background in coding, and if your projects come out and they're really strong and you're able to market, we've seen people come into our program and then come out of our program getting a job. And then other people go through internships. So it kind of just depends on your skill and where you want it to go. And a lot of it also depends on uh, kind of your ramp time. You know, how quickly do you want to get a job? How quickly do you want to get into the field? What kind of job do you want? There's a lot of things, but I think the overall picture is that technology is here to stay, and technology jobs or jobs that require technical skills tend to pay more than jobs that don't.
But it's very important to not have unrealistic expectations in life, right? Like, I mean, you can always dream big, and you should always dream big. You should shoot for the moon, and they say all of those things, but you have to be grounded. Yes, there is a lot of potential opportunities where you could end up making a six-figure salary in just a year. But if you don't come from that background, if you don't have an experience, it's okay to start small. You can go ahead with something that is very, very tiny, but if you prove your skill set, if you say that, hey, I'm good at something like this, and I prove my worth every single day when I come into work, the rise is meteoric and you could actually do it. But you have to be aware of where you are in terms of your skill set, and it's okay to be a beginner, it's okay to be an amateur, it's okay to be um, s- it's okay to be someone who is just learning. All you have to do is accept the fact that, okay, I am learning, I need to get to a certain point, but don't expect that it could be a shot at the moon right where you go. It's a journey, and throughout the journey you will have a lot of roadblocks, and you will have obstacles, you will have challenges. It could be personal, it could be financial, it could be emotional, it could be mental, it could be anything. But then it's always about staying the course no matter what happens, and putting in the efforts, because tech is such an industry that no matter what you do, you will always have opportunities, and you will always have scenarios where you can contribute, be it a line of code, be it a database, or be it anything else. You will always have an opportunity. Just put your head down and work, and at some point of time you will get there, and the timeline is different for everybody. If I started out in tech, I would get there in, like, let's say 10 years. It could be 2 years for someone, it could be 3 years for someone. And it's okay to have your own timelines. Don't compare yourself with someone else, don't compare yourself with a person who got success sooner than you, or the framework of success that you have in your mind is someone achieved it faster than you, because everybody is different. The timeline is not the problem, but you will get there. And also, we are always here to help, no matter what situation that you have. At Skillspire, we help our students. The students at Skillspire are a family of ours. We give them everything that they want. We nurture them, we train them, we upskill them, and no matter what happens, we always have your back. That's something that we do at Skillspire, and we understand, because of the roadblocks, because of the challenges. At any point, let's say even 3 years down the line or 4 years down the line, if you're facing something, if you just want to talk to us, if you just want to vent out, we are here to help you out. And that's something that we believe in. But at the end of the day, when Terry spoke about the salaries and the ROI and everything else, and yes, that is needed, but it's you who's going to make the effort. I mean, in any sport, for example, a coach can only train them, but what happens on the field is just you people, right? You have to put in the hard work, you have to put in the blood, sweat, and tears to make it happen. And we'll be the cheerleaders to you. We'll train you, we'll do everything that we can. But until you put in the efforts, we cannot do anything about it. So if you have something, if you want to do it, if you're committed enough, we are here to help you out, and together we can make something work that would transform your life in a way that's something that you've never heard of.
So how are we going to help you? So the first thing is, let's talk about the syllabus and the structure. So our courses are set up to really help students who are working or who have other commitments, especially during the day. So our courses are in the evenings, they're on the weekends. And the way they've been structured is we really help students break down really complicated issues and challenges. I mean, coding's not easy. And but we break it down so it's more consumable. It's easier for you to understand. It's easier to get, and you break it down into parts so you can build on those parts as you move forward in the course. And our instructors, often many of them have been in your shoes. Many of them have gone through boot camps, who have the background of what it's like to start in tech for the first time, what it's like to learn this complicated information. And they've done it, and they are great advocates for you, and they encourage you. And what I really like about our courses is that they are taught by live instructors. So it's online, so you're able to be in your home, the comfort of your home, but you're talking to someone. It's very engaging. You've got your peers there as well, and you're all working and struggling and getting through this. And then you see the light and you're like, wow, I just did this. Wow, look at my code compiled. And it's really exciting. And then people share information outside of class. And it's a really, I feel like you still have a lot of camaraderie, and you always have access to the instructor. And the one thing that this does encourage, it encourages you to have fast and learning. You also get videos of every single course. So there's a self-teaching mechanism there. So if you forget, you're like, wow, why isn't my code isn't working? You go back and you look at it and you're like, oh, shoot, I forgot that last line of code. That's what I forgot. Or I forgot this variable. Or shoot, I forgot this. And you're like, done, I got it. And so you're able to see it because the instructor is coding online. He's showing you, you get a chance to do it yourself. But if you still don't understand it, you can go back and look. And it's that process of reiteration, of just having that live instructor helping you be like, hey, if you have an issue, you can use Slack and connect with him or her and say why this isn't working, and they can often help you. The instructors also understand what it's like to get a job, and they also work through algorithms and various different things within class, because they know when you get out of school, when you finish this course, you will have to be a lot of companies, especially if you're looking in a software development field, where they will ask you to do some kind of a code test, and so they will help you prepare for those. And so you might say, well, I can do this online without a lab instructor. Yes, you can. The challenge is you won't often have projects, you won't have a portfolio, and it's like many different industries. If you can't show them that you know how to code, it's really hard to say, oh, I'm a coder because I took these classes. What they really want to see is they want to see a GitHub account. They want to see what you do, kind of the level of experience you have, so they can best fit you into their company as well. And so these are the things that we help build for you as you work with us. And then, of course, after the course or halfway through the course, you'll start talking to me, and we'll start talking about how you can build a resume and things like that, and start developing that part of your launch into the career.
So to help you get your dream career in tech, to break out into tech, we have several options for you to choose from. And I understand a lot of people will be coming from different backgrounds or no tech background at all, or while some may have some little background, like someone mentioned they self-taught SQL and so forth. But we have this list of courses. We have a full stack web development immersive program with React. We have one with Python. We have data analytics, which is a combination of both intro to data analytics, if you want to just get the basics, or maybe you could be someone who already has the basics, you could switch on to the advanced data analytics. We also have Java and cloud computing. Yes, Java is not dead. People don't talk about it, but Java is not dead. It's one of the biggest hiring positions in tech, and with that we also offer Amazon Web Services, AWS. Another dead language that people think it is dead is C Sharp. It is not dead, and we offer that course as well. Highly underrated course, and we do actually have a C Sharp course coming up soon. And you can just put your email in the chat so that we can reach out about it with you. So yeah, C Sharp and Azure Cloud, another beautiful language to learn, and cybersecurity. Uh, you remember like Facebook went down a couple of weeks ago, right? And the world went crazy and people thought it was a cyber attack or something. But uh, cybersecurity is another course that we offer. We want you to safeguard yourself in terms of tech, and you could learn that. You could actually, do that for a company and feel, okay, I saved a day this from a cyber attack or something like that. So I think that's pretty cool. And it's okay to feel confused. It's okay to have that feeling where you don't really know what you want to do. Tech can be confusing, it can be intimidating at times, but you can always reach out to us, and based on your interest, what your aspirations are, what you truly want to do, and even based on how much tech or what kind of things that you are most comfortable with, we can help you pick a course and break out into that dream tech career that you've always been wanting. So reach out to us anytime, be it social media, be it Instagram, Facebook, be it LinkedIn, be it our website, or just have a phone call. Just call that number on the website, and we'll be always available to help you out to pick the right course for you.
So some things that we'll go over is, and we talked a little bit about this earlier, is personality and skills and experience, and what your intention is. Is it specifically for job, what's your timeline? Do you want it right away? Do you and so we will help talk through some of these things to help identify a couple of classes that may work best for you. And always looking at classes, trying to look at classes online for free classes, just to give yourself a little bit of experience of what's there. One thing I do like to do is also look at jobs, different jobs, and try to see, does that job sound like it's interesting to me? Does it sound like that's something that I would enjoy doing? Do I even understand? If you don't even understand what the job is, then that's where we have to do a little more deep dive and say, okay, this is what you'll be doing. Is that something that's exciting for you? One thing that I've always suggested is some of you already have jobs that you like, and take a look at what you like about those jobs. For example, if you're in sales and you really like engaging with a lot of people and you don't really like to sit at a desk, then maybe coding isn't the best. But if you're in sales, data analytics is really important and very powerful. So it's very important so that would be one that you may want to look at. If you like, and even cybersecurity, because you have to engage with a lot of people and do a lot of tickets and work on a lot of issues. So there's a lot of different ways you can kind of look at IT and see. I think one thing is to look at your skills that you currently have. Like someone mentioned that they were a nurse. If you get some skills in IT, you can go either the route of software development, you can go into data analytics, and you can definitely go into like a biotech type company that not only requires technical skills, but often asks as a preferred requirement is to have some background in some kind of biology or chemistry. And so those are the kind of things that you can start thinking about, is when you look at your skills, is to say, okay, what do I like to do? What sounds good? And if you've dabbled in, like I think a couple of you have dabbled in a lot of development coding, and then we can work with you to kind of say, okay, what sounds good considering your skills? Would it be best for you to get into something like Java or C#, or do you want to do the full stack and really understand that? And we've had people who've taken a couple classes from us. So it's not like either or. Sometimes you might say, okay, I want to take this full stack class in React, then I want to take the one in Python, or I want to take one in Java. And so these are things that people can do. Even cybersecurity, they're like, well, we want to take something in full stack web development, but then really excited about cybersecurity. Let's see, let's talk about that. And so we can help you, and a lot of the people who kind of coach you as you're developing or going through this thought process, you can look to see what works best for you. And we'll ask you a little bit more about your skills and your experience to help align that. with maybe some potential jobs or some potential opportunities for you that we can provide.
So why us and why not universities? Why not a college degree? That's the question that everybody has, right? I mean, a college degree is valued so much. That's something that's something of an information or a fact that we've been fed upon for years. And but the fact is, it's old. It's no longer the same, and universities are extremely expensive. And how often have you had that situation where you've been in a class, you've taken a course where you're wondering, okay, how is this going to help me in my life? If I want a career in tech, why do I need to learn biology, chemistry, anthropology? Right, I mean, it's something that that is a waste of time. If you know what you're doing, if you know what you want to do, these kind of courses are irrelevant. I mean, I've studied chemistry and I don't know why I learned that, because it never made sense to me, but I had to take that course. And it was not something that I chose, but it was forced upon me from a university. And also, if you can learn a language in 16 weeks or 20 weeks, why do I need to wait 4 years to graduate? I mean, that's a lot of time, and life can go anywhere in 4 years, right? I mean, things could change in just weeks. So why do you have to wait 4 years to get a degree to get yourself a job? That's where we come in. I mean, we what we do is we only focus on what's absolutely needed for your growth, what's something that would benefit you from a technical perspective, or from a career perspective, and we just focus on those and get rid of the others. So if you don't like studying anthropology, we are here to help you to not study that, and we can absolutely give you the things that you want and the things that you love to do. And in addition to that, we also help you with a lot of training stuff. We help you build your resume. We've had a couple of students, they came in from different countries in the world, and they never had a resume in their hand in their country. What they did was they just called up the office, and they said, hey, do you have a job? And they would go and interview. That's about it. That's the process like for them. But in the US, it's slightly different, and you have a process to a lot of things. You have interview rounds, and you send in the resume and stuff. So we work with people who don't know how to create a resume, or even they didn't know what a resume was in the first place. So we can help you with every single thing. We can guide you to how to create the best LinkedIn profile for better reach. We also help you with technical interview preparations. We help you go through the entire process of, hey, if there's a particular question that's asked of me, how do I respond, and how do I say something that's so appropriate that might help me get into the next round, or probably get a job in the end. So all of these, we help you throughout your job search process. So it's not just about learning, it's not just about coding, but we also help you get to a point where you actually land yourself a job, and we will do whatever it takes to help you get there. And if you talk about us, I mean, there are a lot of coding boot camps. I mean, we have competitors, but they're expensive. They're really, really expensive. And uh, what we do is we are a lot more affordable, and we do understand that not a lot of people have that financial backing to pursue something in tech. Even from a coding bootcamp perspective, some people may be financially well to do with having to spend 20 weeks of time, and they can invest that kind of a money in there. But we understand that a lot of people don't. And that's where we come in to provide you flexible payment options, and we have monthly installments. And also we are very focused on our mission, because we want to, our target audience, if you talk about it from a marketing perspective, that's me. But we genuinely want to get to the underserved populations, and people who have actual troubles getting into tech, and who actually want to make a difference in their life, but they are unable to do so, and we want to help them. But that doesn't mean that we are going to ignore other backgrounds. We are welcoming of everyone. But uh, no matter what trouble you have, no matter what kind of a situation you are in at this point of time, we are here to help you out. And we provide you with mentorship. We have a community of our students, and a lot of them have had their journeys where they were doing something else and they came to us. They trained at Skillspire for a particular language, for a particular program, and now they have broken into a career in tech. And the best of all is that we don't have a huge classroom. We focus on small cohorts. We genuinely want to make sure that the instructors reach out to the students on a one-on-one level, and it's so much personalized that you actually learn something. And no matter what question you have, no matter what doubts you have, or what challenge that you're facing in a particular cohort, you can always ask the instructor, and you can actually learn something and make the best out of what you have.
So a lot of us work, and it's very hard to take time out and get this wonderful training, right? And so we talked a little bit about how our courses are structured for those working individuals, for the professionals. And let me just go in a little bit deeper about that. So, for example, if you're to take a course in data analytics or full stack, now this isn't the same for all of our classes, but we've built out this program to really help students so that they have a lot of hands-on experience with instructors or technical advisors. And so, for example, you would take a course on, say, a Saturday and a Tuesday with an instructor, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you would have time with a technical assistant or a teacher's assistant who would be able to go through some of your homework assignments and help you with those, or in-class assignments where it didn't make sense. And so you would just get online, and this would be for about 4 months. Sometimes it'd be 3 months if it's data analytics, 5 months if it's like Java or something. But really, it's between 3 to 5 months for our courses, where you would get online in the evening and you would meet with your peers, and you would walk through different algorithms. You'd walk through some of your homework. You would learn new information and then learn how to apply that information. And yes, you would have a few days off, of course, but it is an intensive program, and it's meant to really help people who are working to get a lot of information, especially complicated information, quickly and understand it well. And so that's really what we're targeting here. And it is intense, but you learn a lot. And actually, I took a class because I wanted to see, but you really bond with the students that you're with. It becomes a real fun experience, and we kind of missed each other afterwards. So it's one of those things where I think it's an opportunity to learn, and yes, it's grueling, and yes, you have to go through it, but it's also exciting because you're learning a lot and you look forward to it. You can miss classes. We do have recorded lectures, but we do ask that you're committed to it, because the more you commit to it, like Ajay was saying earlier, the more you're going to get out of the class. And that's just the way it is for everything. So we're here to help you. We've set up the whole structure so that we can be supportive and online, in a sense that we are actually there and we have somebody there to help you, not just online where you're just looking at something and trying to figure it out yourself. We actually have somebody there to kind of help you a little bit, but you will have struggles and you will go through it, and that's the good part, because you will learn so much. When you get an algorithm, you're like, okay, how do I do this? But then if you don't know how to do it, you have somebody there who can help you. So how do I know if tech is for me? Well, I think the question is, which part of tech is for you? Because this is the technical age. Everything we do requires technology, right? And so some of the things we've talked about before is test the waters, YouTube videos, persistence and curiosity that Jay had referred to a couple of times is really key. Education is really exciting, but you also want to make sure that you'll be able to use it. And so you won't know until you try it. So try some of the things. If you want to talk to us, we're here to talk with you and to better understand where you're coming from and what your skills are. But we think that an investment in learning is never a mistake. And especially in technology, because there's so many courses, so many jobs that require courses like ours, that require the skills that we provide, that it's not, this is not a mistake. It's just what's best for you. And so I think the idea is, what do you want to do? Like some people, they may say, well, I really like to talk to people, but I like a little bit of tech and I like this and I like that. Well, hey, have you thought of technical project management or project management in the IT space? And so for that, they often need a little bit of data analytics to create a business case. And then they often need a little bit of some coding and better understanding of how you build out a product. And then they also need a few other things in project management skills. And then that's a great field to get into. So we're here to help guide you. So if you don't see something that you like here, you say, oh, that doesn't fit, just still talk to us, because we might be able to suggest some things that'll help guide you, even if you don't come to us in the end. So it's been a pleasure to have you here. And I think, do you want to open it up for questions? Are we close to, I think we're close to the end, aren't we?
But I just want to throw in one point that I want to remind you again that it's not easy. I understand that. No,
Yeah.
I don't have a tech background. Sometimes when a technical jargon is thrown at me, I'm like, hey, what is this? I don't know. And if I'm around people who know tech, I feel left out, and that's completely okay. uh, but don't let that limit yourself. I mean, in the first few weeks, if you join a program, you're going to have a situation where you probably might not know what's going on, or you might feel you're out of place. It could be different for everybody. It could be intimidating, but just stay the course. Just ask us. You can ask the instructors. You can bond well with the other students in the cohort. No matter what happens, don't feel that this is not for me or this is something that I cannot do. Don't lose that motivation. Just stay that course and ask questions, ask your doubts, even if it's the most silliest of things. And that's something that I encourage people to do every single time, that no question is a stupid question. If you have something, just say it out loud, and that's how you build things. I mean, nobody would have thought that putting touchscreen on a phone would change the lives of so many people. I mean, the industry changed, so many things changed about a simple phone in itself. Some because that happened because someone asked a question, right? I mean, so, and maybe that person thought that I'm probably going to get bullied or joked around and stuff like that, but because of that one question, something changed. And keeping in light with that sentiment, I would say that if you have any questions, if you no matter what you think, you might feel that it's a dumb question probably, but please go ahead and just ask us, no matter what happens, and we'll be there to answer every single one of your questions. And just a reminder, if you haven't already put your email in the chat, please do that. And if you don't feel comfortable to ask us questions right now, you can always reach out to me, Terry, Faze, and Yasmin. And Yasmin, she's the founder and CEO of the company, and she's very much available to talk to you about anything that you have, any questions. Please go ahead and you can send us through email, and also you could use the opportunity and ask the questions now. And yeah, let's open up for questions. Anybody?
Yeah, I had a question. I have no experience, so I wanted to know, like, how does the tech industry think about people who have no experience? Like, is the certification helpful for them, and is it easy to get jobs without any experience? Because many times when I see job description, it says entry level, but it also mentions like some experience, like 1 or 2 years. So how to work on that?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you. So I'm glad you asked that. So a couple things. One is, I believe you said that you've been out of the workforce for a little while. So actually that's to your benefit right now, because they have a lot of opportunities with big companies and small companies, but mostly with large companies for what's called a returnship program. People have been out because they've had to care for a loved one or for family reasons. And so they offer opportunities for people, men and women, to come back into the workforce. And so they do that through apprenticeships, internships, and having taken a course like this, having the skills that you have in the from some of your previous studies will allow you to be will allow you to market yourself and show that you've kind of are more relevant now than you would be if you didn't take a course like this. Does that make sense? Like having skills like, and it doesn't matter if it's art skills or somewhere else, it's just having those additional skills showing that you know, especially if you want to get into, I heard you say like something not strong coding, but say if you wanted to get into like more front end type coding with JavaScript or HTML, CSS, then that would show that you have that background. If you want to get, you said you maybe SQL, then you might get into data analytics, and that just shows, and that opens up a huge opportunity for you having those skills. Because even though the returnship program is there, it's still competitive. And so having those relevant skills allow you to compete with others for those opportunities. Now, if you come to us and say, you know, even if you have a background in a different job and you're like, okay, how do I get a job after I just take this course? And so sometimes what happens is it depends on your confidence level and your level of skills. So if you have a really strong portfolio of projects and you have a lot of background and you're like coding day and night, regardless of this class, you're just in it. And one great thing is to, and then you have your portfolio. I've seen people get jobs right after. You know, it takes a while. Sometimes it takes 4 to 6 months, but they end up getting a job in the IT field or data analytics, and they really enjoy that. A lot of people prefer to go in maybe through an internship or something where they're kind of able to build on their skills and gain credibility and also gain maybe some references. And so I've seen people go that route as well. And that's a route that many people like to take. And so there's that opportunity too. But you're right. There are a lot of entry-level jobs that go from 3 to 5 years of experience. And to me, that's not an entry-level job. And I'm seeing more and more companies starting to look at that and say, hey, is that really an entry-level job? Because how are you supposed to get those years, this experience? And most of the time it's through internships, it's through building out your portfolio. I always suggest for students to volunteer their time as well, so that helps build out their skills and their portfolio. So that they can, and this would be like in nonprofits, because nonprofits often can't afford technical support. And so there's different ways that we kind of help suggest those opportunities for you as well. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, this is Robert. I have a question. Oh, sorry. So I think you touched upon this before. So I don't have a tech background at all. All the positions or titles, they look very foreign, and I can't really distinguish between what they mean. So I was curious, and I also don't understand the difference between the different languages. So I was curious, is there someone I can speak to prior to selecting a course that can kind of help guide me to I don't know what to pursue? Because I feel like tech is such a general word that just saying going to tech is way too broad, and just just a little more guidance. So can you just touch upon that, please?
Absolutely. Ajay, do you want to take that one? Or
So, like I said before, tech can be intimidating or it could be confusing, and there are so many options to choose from, right? So, no matter what happens, we are there to help you out based on your interest. Like your interest in tech could be so completely different from someone else, and we are here to help you out. So no matter what questions you have, based on your aptitude, based on excuse me, based on what you want to do ahead in life, or even within tech, what fascinates you. I'm sorry. Whatever. I've lost my voice. I'm sorry. Terry, can you continue?
So thank you. And yes, we can definitely help with that. What we'll do is we'll kind of, again, talk through your skills. We'll also be able to answer questions about things that that you have specific questions about. And kind of help guide you as to what kind of jobs would be the kind of jobs that you would be able to go to if you had these kinds of skills. I also think, if you could share the background, not here, but when you talk with us, a little bit about your background and experience and what you like to do, kind of your personality, that could also help us provide you with suggestions.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Terry. Are you okay, Ajay?
Does that answer your question? Because, we can tell, like this is Java and C#, or they're both object-oriented languages, and a lot of companies are agnostic a little bit. But if you're looking for these kinds of companies, this is kind of what they go towards. We can help you with that as well. But I think you would probably want something a little higher up right away.
What do you mean higher up?
Oh, meaning like in general, would you start taking a Java or full stack? Or and better understanding what that means?
Possibly.
So like when we talk about full stack, that's where you understand from the beginning, from how the whole website works, right? How you build out that website in the front end, what it looks like, how it all the kind of how it's organized on the site, and we'll teach you how to build that. And then we'll also teach you on the back end, when they talk about the back end, how the data and how and kind of what, like, say if you click on something, which website do you see? Maybe you get transitioned to a different website, and that's on the back end. And so when you get full stack, you understand that full course of website and how it's built. And when you get into Java or C#, that's more the back end type languages, object-oriented languages. That's what like Amazon uses Java, like C#, Microsoft uses, but honestly, Microsoft also uses Java. And so like they there's a lot of large companies that are saying, if you know any of these kinds of languages, it's very helpful, but these are the ones we use more of. So, and they're what we call object-oriented languages. And so it kind of depends on what your current background is. If you've done any coding whatsoever, and also what your personality is, and if that's kind of the course you want to take, or if you want to get more into data analytics or even cybersecurity, if you're into networking, things like that, that could also be an excellent opportunity. Does that help at all? But we'll help you, guide you individually when you call us.
Yes, that does. I appreciate that. Thank you, Terry.
Okay.
And sometimes you can lose your voice, but still you can break into a career in tech.
I feel like I understand what he's saying. Like, it's hard to ask a question when you don't know really what you're asking or what you're talking about. You want to know something about it, but you don't know all the details to ask. So yeah, it is difficult right from the start.
Well, and I think part of it. Oh, go
Terry,
ahead.
I have a question about program management.
Yeah.
Is it different when it's tech related?
It's a good question. Like, you mean program or project management? Either
project,
of them?
Sorry, project.
Project. Yeah. So there are jobs that require more technical skill than others. Some project management skills, or some project managers, are for IT focused, and they require sometimes a lot of experience in technical background, right? They require a background in coding, they require a background in not only project management, but go ahead.
For project management, they require coding.
No, this is for an IT project manager.
Yeah. Oh.
But then there's also project management where some of them, they don't require as much. But if you are working, most companies for project management, it doesn't, you can work it kind of depends on the project that you're working on, right? If you are working for a company that isn't a technical company, right? That's not their main thing, but they do require some experience if because most companies have a technical part of their company. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not like you'd be working at Google as a project manager where it's all IT, but it would be like a job at like maybe, you know, a retail company or something where it does have an IT component, because all companies do now. It's just you may not have that. So they have project managers who specifically work on building out IT projects. But then they also have project managers who work on various things that may need to relate with the technical team. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
So
if I was to go into more of a technical project management, what sort of skills would I require? Like,
so
what
that's a
should
good
What
question.
courses should I be taking?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think there's a big variety of things you can do. It depends on the skills you have now, but I assume you have some project management skills. The key thing that they always want is agile or lean or some kind of framework, software development framework background or experience. We don't teach that, but that's something that you can get online pretty readily. And so that's something that would definitely be a skill that you would want to have. But as far as the technical piece, there's really two parts. One part is a project manager has to create usually some kind of a project that they have to, you know, basically get they have to get support for. So they need to have some kind of metrics to support their business case. They need to understand the data. They need to be able to show how that data really supports the system that they want to build or whatever the project that they want to create. And so for that, it's really helpful to have like the data analytics background. That company may have somebody who can help you in finance or marketing get that information, but it's also helpful to have that data, right? But then it's helpful if you're in IT to really understand the life cycle of how a product is built. How do you build an application? Or how do you even take an application and build from it? And so what happens is you need somebody who's a business analyst who will look at what the user needs to do, right? What do you want to change, right? What do you want it to change? And then you need like some kind of understanding of how it's going to change. And that's what a functional analyst kind of does. Now, sometimes a project manager takes on those roles as well. So sometimes you have to know what you want to change and why you want to change it and how you're going to change it, right? But then you also have to understand how to build out those requirements, or at least as a project manager, understand how other people should capture the requirements and make sure that the developers can then develop towards them, right? So for example, am I losing anybody on this?
No, I'm still with you.
Okay, so say if, very simply, I want to change Zoom and I want to create a new feature. And I say the users really, really need this feature, okay? And so then I have to say a whole business case of why you need this feature, right? And then, so then I'm selling everybody on it internally, and that's what a project manager does. And everybody says, fine, we're gonna allocate some technical support for that. Great. And so then as a project manager, like, yay. And so then you've got your team of people who are going to help you build this out. And so you've got someone who's a business analyst to say, well, what do you want it to do? And the business analyst is like, well, you know what? I'm going on vacation. And so then the project manager is like, I'm going to write what it's going to do. And so you write what's called a business requirement. And so the business requirement says, what does the system have to do? Well, it has to do A, B, and C. Okay. And then you send it over to functional analysts and they say, well, what do you want it to look like? And they say, well, this is what I want to look like. And then the functional analyst also says, okay, this is how we can build it in the architecture, and this is how we're going to. And so they have these documents that kind of lay out what's going to happen. Then you send it over to the developer. Now the project manager is like, okay, we need to get some development time. This is what we need to do. And as a project manager, you'll say, how much time do you think it'll take? And then they'll say, well, it'll take a couple of weeks for me to build this out. And you say, okay. And then you have some testers there and they say, well, how long it'll take? And then you go through that. And then the project manager will walk through that piece, and then it'll also go through and make sure that change was accepted by the user, right? Does this actually do what we want it to do? Does it look the way we want it to look? Are there any bugs? Can you fix them, please? And then the project manager managed that all on a timeline. And then at the end, you present it to the user or you deploy it and you implement it, and then you get feedback. And then you make changes on that feedback. And you do that cycle again and again. And that's an IT project manager is simply a project manager that builds out that and goes through that whole life cycle and those pieces of the life cycle. And to really understand that development part of the life cycle and maybe even the testing, it's really helpful to take a class and understand maybe a full stack class or something so you better understand how that actually works. So when a developer says, hey, this and this isn't working, but this isn't working, and you'd be like, okay, I get it. So you have that knowledge.
Okay. And would that be the same for a business analyst?
So a business analyst is slightly different. A business analyst, and oftentimes a business analyst moves from a business analyst role, and the way they move up in the chain, the food chain, is they go into the project management. That tends to be the route. Not always, but
really? Okay.
Not always. Some people with business analysts also have to have coding, so they might get into that. But oftentimes they tend to move that direction. But the point is that a business analyst, like a project manager, has to have excellent communication skills. So it's really a person who can write well, who can be organized, who can work with users and say, hey, what do you really want the system to do? And be able to document that in specifications and documents that then will be transitioned to the developer, and they're going to say, oh, number one, I have to do this. Number two, I have to make sure it does this. Number three, it has to do this. And so then it's built according to what the user needs.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that like a project manager is sort of a higher level than a business analyst.
Some companies, they aren't. Some companies, the project manager does all that, but other companies, they're different.
Okay. And then one more question, is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
For sales, if I were to go into some sort of IT sales or tech sales, again, what sort of class should I take? Just something kind of general. And I know it would depend on what I'd be selling, but is there something very broad that would cover a lot?
So, I mean, sales is all about analytics. It's all about data. If you get into IT sales, that may be slightly different, but because IT sales often sometimes requires more strong technical skills. But I think in general, most sales positions require data as they move up the food chain in sales. Managing data, understanding like your sales district or what the area that you're managing, and understanding the people and where their metrics are, and being able to make sure people are meeting their quotas, and how can you help them meet their quotas and all that. It's all metrics driven. Having a dashboard, understanding how to manage that dashboard, updating that dashboard. So I would say data analytics is critical for most sales positions. And if you want to get into technical sales, then it does require more technical experience, and I'd have to look at the job description. But
okay,
Ajay, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you summed it up pretty well.
Okay, yeah. And then for cybersecurity, I know it's so broad. There's so many different areas. What's your cyber program like?
Ajay, do you want to take that one?
You can take that. So what we can say is that we cover a lot of topics. We have a broad curriculum, and we get into the details as well. We cover everything from network attacks to honeypots, and there's a lot of concepts that we cover extensively. But also you'll learn more about it in the email that we'll send you. We can email you our syllabus for each and every course, and you'll get to know all of the subjects that go in detail, the topics that we cover, the areas that we highlight a lot. We'll send you an extensive syllabus so that you get to know everything about our courses.
Okay. And what certificates do you get from that, from your cybersecurity course?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Certificates? Is it a certificate course?
So it is not for a specific certificate, but you can use a training to go afterwards to get some kind of a, to launch you in other certificates that you're looking for. Our courses, we are a certified Microsoft training partner, but we do not, it's not to get like a specific, certificate that you know of for like networking.
Right. Okay. All right.
Also, uh, I just have to add one thing to this, that there's a CompTIA certification, and we can help you prepare for that. I mean, our course is designed such that it will help you prepare for the CompTIA certification that you get. So it's going to be extremely beneficial if you intend on doing the CompTIA certificate. Our course will cover a lot of things and even boost your confidence a little bit.
Okay. Good. Because I'm starting to look at the CompTIA courses now, and I'm my eyes are starting to cross. So yeah, some
Yeah.
help with that would be great. Okay.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah, I'd love to see the curriculum.
yeah. I
I'll
mean,
add
at Inspire, we have everybody's back, right? I mean, Terry had my back when I lost my voice, so we're going to do that for you people as well. So no matter what questions you have, we are always here to help you. And yeah, anytime you have a question, just feel free to reach out to us via email. Like I said, even if it's the most stupidest of questions that you feel that you think, just go ahead and do it, and we'll help you out. And yes, we'll be sending the syllabus to everybody.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I'll just, excuse me. Are you contagious?
Sorry?
Yeah, I'll just add my email address to the list there, and thank
Sure.
you both very much for answering all my questions.
Sure.
I have a question. This is Denise.
Hi.
Am I too old to join the tech world? Will companies be willing to accept someone who's much older than, these younger generation?
Not
I
really.
mean,
Not really.
they're- no?
No.
I mean, I would,
Age is just a number, and I believe that even companies, they value skill a lot more than your age. Yeah, there could be some companies who do that, but generally what happens is, if you are skilled enough, if you put yourself in that position where they cannot refuse you, you have to think of it from that perspective, that no matter what happens, you have it in you. You are so skilled that they cannot ignore you. So the
mhm.
quote unquote, be so good that they cannot ignore you.
Okay.
Just have that mindset and you'll be good to go, and don't worry about age, don't worry about a lot of things. Yes, it could be intimidating, and I understand that for someone who we had a student who was in their 40s, and they got themselves a career in tech, and they had absolutely no idea, and they were not at all tech savvy at all. So don't worry about it. It's age is just a number. Your intent and your motivations, and to get to that skill level where you are so good that they cannot ignore you, that's what matters the most. And if you do that, everything else will take care of itself.
Okay. Thank you.
So anyone else?
So I think there's a lot of questions that maybe you still have or that you'll think about later. And like Ajay had mentioned before, please reach out. There's probably there'll be something that comes up and you'll be like, oh, or maybe there's something you didn't want to ask and it's a little bit more, individual focused, and we're here to help you. So please feel free to reach out and let us know, and we can schedule a time with you to discuss and give you more information.
Absolutely. And also, you can check out our website, skillspire.net. Go online. It's a lovely website. And you'll have a lot of information. We have covered everything about all the courses. You can go around browsing all the different sections and see. You can read our blogs. We write a lot about the industry, our courses, how things are changing in the tech industry, how what we can look forward to in the tech industry, and so forth. So feel free to do that, and feel free to leave us a message anytime you want, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. But most importantly, thank you all so much for coming here on a Saturday. uh, I'm sure it's the weekend and you might have a lot of plans, but thank you for taking out your time and being with us. And I genuinely hope that we gave you some information. It's you can do only so much in an hour and a half, but you if you have any questions, or rather, let me say that we at least we hope that we gave you a hope that you can break into the tech industry. And if you are interested, if you want to go forward, please reach out to us, send us an email, just call that phone, and you'll be good to go. We'll take care of everything. So grateful for all of you for being here, and thank you so much. And if you again once again, if you have any questions, here's the time. But if you last round, any questions? I guess not. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for being here, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.